Hello, YouTube! Nickです。
Number 30. The Ventriloquist. Arnold Wesker, Scarface. Is the Ventriloquist one villain or two? It depends on how you look at things. Arnold Wesker, the man with his hand inside the dummy, appears to suffer from dissociative identity disorder. This means that while the puppet, a mobster named Scarface, may not actually have a mind of its own, his psychological hold over Wesker is all too real.
Good boy. Better look sharp, you smugs. Scarface is back.
Once just a scared young orphan, his repressed feelings eventually manifested into a violent bar fight that resulted in him being sent to Blackgate Prison. Wesker first met Scarface while incarcerated, and in another violent outburst, killed the man who carved him. They have been inseparable ever since.
Enough with the act. Lose the dummy.
I would, but he keeps following me around.
This This isn't an act, is it?
Number 29, Calendar Man. Unlike the Grinch, this is one villain who really knows how to get into the spirit of the season. Of course, the way Calendar Man, also known as Julian Gregory Day, likes to celebrate important or minor holidays is to go on a crime spree. So maybe that's not a good thing.
There's lots of crazy out there these days. And just when you thought you'd cleaned it all up.
But still, we can't knock his commitment to the bit. He's even been known to dress up for special occasions. How could we not love that? Even his name is a clever nod to the Julian and Gregorian calendars.
Live the dream, big shot.
Yes, I'll take an army of Halloween jack-o'-lanterns.
Number 28, Maxie Zeus.
You are Cleo, my muse of history. Amuse me with tales of ancient times when mortals trembled at the name of Zeus.
Once a history teacher with a severe hyperfixation on Greek mythology, Maxie Zeus has now risen to prominence as one of Gotham City's most esteemed gang leaders. The only problem with his leadership? His delusions of grandeur are such that he believes he literally is an incarnation of the Greek god he shares his last name with. Another example of a villain who is firmly committed to the role. Zeus themes all his schemes around mythology, frequently wears a tunic, and even speaks in an exaggerated tone of voice that he ditches only when communicating with his daughter Medea.
I am Maxie Zeus, and tonight I max all your dreams come true.
Number 27, Professor Pig. In a catalog of villains that have some quirks, to say the least, Professor Pig ranks as one of the oddest and most disturbing.
It appears we've captured your butler instead of you. No worry, we'll be meeting soon enough. Ta-ta!
A deranged serial killer and surgeon consumed by the pursuit of flawlessness, the professor transforms his victims into mindless Dolatrons. These puppets are nearly indestructible, making him a formidable threat. Professor Pig has an obsession with the legendary Greek mythological figure Pygmalion, a sculptor who fell in love with one of his statues. Wait, obsessed with a Greek mythological figure? This guy and Maxie Zeus should hang out.
Rage is a common cause of hypertension, you know. Perhaps we should give your heart a quick stress test, just to be safe.
Number 26, Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday. Made famous as an adversary of the Green Lantern Corps, Solomon Grundy has nonetheless had his fair share of run-ins with our favorite caped crusader throughout his career.
I'll have to ask the Joker why he's had so much trouble doing this over the years. So this isn't a complete waste of my energies.
The undead supervillain had a few spins put on his origin story throughout the years. He tends to die and come back to life a lot. But in his original incarnation, he was a homicide victim who was resurrected as a zombie.
Cursed you with a powerful Gree and dumped your remains in a swamp redolent with mystical properties of its own.
While most of the time Grundy is straight up evil, some of his resurrected forms have shown that they are not incapable of doing good. Number 25, Lady Shiva. Does anybody else have that one adult relative who's a little too obsessed with karate, or is it just us? Lady Shiva is considered to be perhaps the greatest martial artist within the DC universe, and has even put Batman on his toes.
Batman, you should worry less about what's behind that door, and more about what's in front of it.
She pretty much spends her time traveling the world picking fights with everyone she comes across. She's kind of like that guy you know who's always demanding that people debate him. Except that's mostly just on Reddit. Shiva's tendency to wander so much in search of a worthy combatant once caused Batman to accuse her of having a death wish.
You let me overhear your plan to place Cassandra as a mole.
We gave you every chance to prove us wrong by doing nothing.
Number 24, Killer Moth. The Joker gets a lot of credit for being a dark mirror of our hero. But may we present Batman's original foil, Killer Moth, who is a little like a villainous version of the hero who's obsessed with moths instead of bats?
You might want to cut back on his sugar intake.
Penguin's not alone.
I think we can take him.
Seriously, just like Batman, he has plenty of gadgets and gimmicks. And he even has a Mothmobile. We're also impressed by just how garish his original outfit manages to be. The combination of bright green, orange, and purple, along with the fact that he's, dressed as a moth, really makes it stand out.
Oh, this could not have gone worse! I spent all my savings to mutate you into something really horrible, and I get this? I give up. I'm going to bed.
Number 23. Man-Bat. As a zoologist studying bats, Dr. Robert Kirkland Kirk Langstrom developed a serum that he hoped would bless humans with their sonar senses. Langstrom had a personal investment in the results of the experiment as he was losing his hearing. The good news? He no longer has issues with his hearing. The horrifying news? The bat gland extract also has the mild side effect of transforming Langstrom into a grotesque bat-like creature.
What is that thing? That thing is what we're after. Holy!
Be careful what you wish for, we guess. Later stories have attempted to paint Man-Bat in a more sympathetic light. We can understand why. It's hard not to feel for a guy who just wanted to maintain the gift of hearing and ended up like this.
Oh, don't trouble yourself, Mr. Wayne. A pompous, pretty boy like you could never understand my work.
Try me, Doctor.
I want to be like the Batman.
Number 22. The Phantasm. The Phantasm is among the most memorable Batman adversaries who somehow still haven't made a live-action debut.
Buzz Bronski, your angel of death awaits.
Get away from me, you freak!
This mysterious figure debuted in the animated feature Batman Mask of the Phantasm in 1993. Despite being the only animated Batman film to see a wide theatrical release, barring anything Lego-related, the flick often ranks as a fan favorite.
Joker, your angel of death awaits.
Forget film, though. The Phantasm didn't even debut in the canon of the comics until Batman Catwoman #1 in 2020, nearly 3 decades after her movie was released. What gives? Number 21. Carmine Falcone. Carmine Falcone is an incredible example of a Batman villain who's not intimidating because of any superpower he possesses. Instead, he's a worthy foe to Batman because of the might he wields as the face of Gotham's criminal syndicate.
You thought your father was a Boy Scout. But you'd be surprised what even a good man like him is capable of in the right situation.
It's an unfortunate fact that with money comes power, and this Falcone crime family member has a lot of it. But it's Falcone's ruthlessness and strategy that really makes him someone you do not want to cross. This might be why the mob boss seems to have everybody in his pocket, including the police and government officials.
Couple off-duty cops and a judge. Now, I wouldn't have a second's hesitation in blowing your head off right here and right now in front of them. Now, that's power you can't buy.
At times, the rivalry between the Falcones and the Maronis, Gotham's other most prominent crime family, headed by Sal Maroni, has turned to violence in the city streets.